All right. Just wait for a few more people to come in. Just doing a quick sound check, guys and girls. Hope you're well. Can you hear me loud and clear? Let's get in the chat set up. Can you hear me loud and clear? Yep, looks like you got me good as gold. Oh, we don't want that. We want that. How are we all? Hope we are well. I'm back now. Spent a few days up the coast last week, and look, I actually took a break. I still on my scans, still did a bunch of bits and pieces, but they were just bits and pieces, and it was a really nice time to get away. The market was just booming, and there wasn't a great deal, but to do. So I just hung back. Look, there were a few trades that some of the members got, but for me, I was, like I say, I was kind of just doing my thing and fishing with the old man. So I had a good time, and believe it, I actually come back today, and you have those sleeps where you're just out. You feel like you haven't woken up. That was me this morning. Feeling much better and back into it again now, and really excited for what we've got going on. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. What I see as going on is, I think it's important, and it's bringing that perspective in. All right, so right now, and I'm going to talk to Bitcoin for a little bit here. I don't want to be too long on this, right? But I wanted to talk to Bitcoin. This is the 4-hour chart, my midterm time frame. You can see weekly, daily, 16, 12-hour, 8-hour, 4, 2, 1, blah, blah, blah. Now, what tends to happen, okay? Now, I saw this in 2017 as well. I didn't get out at the top, and I surely didn't buy back in at the absolute bottom, but I just try and focus on that chunk in the middle. I'm not, as a trader, I'm a trend-following trader. My Crypto Cradle, Bitcoin Booster, and Fibonacci Booster, they're all about trading trend. That's it, okay? There's nothing else that's important to me than trend. So I know other people trade different ways, and I'm not saying that's not the right way. It's just this is the way that I do it. So for me, once those candles start to get really, really big, and I sort of commentated through here, saying we're still looking fine, the candles weren't getting too big. It was when we started to see this big candle here that sort of just exceeded all expectations. For me, it started to get to a bit of a, okay, let's see how we go here. And we hadn't had a pullback for a while. Now, I'll just refresh your memory for those that were on the live that time. And if you didn't catch it, you can go back through the YouTube channel, and you can see the video to show that I'm not full of it. Basically, from the start of that move, I think it was from there to there. Was it that one? No, sorry, my bad. I think it was this one here, because it pulled back in here from here to here before the last pullback in was 64% move. Now the 64% move from this low when we saw that pullback was up to here. It was about 12.6 or 12.3, 12.4, something around that level. Now that was a point at which I thought, okay, well, you wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback because we ramped up last time. Look, very similar. Zoop, bigger candles, pulled back in, and then we consolidated, then we took off again. Now, I'd love to see nothing more than history repeat itself on the last run that we had, which would mean that we might see a little bit of wishy-washy, chippy-choppy markets for a little while to come. Then we continue to push higher. I wasn't too far off a pullback point. Again, I don't care to get things exactly right, but I'm using tools to take the chunk in the middle, and I was long from back. Actually, I've still got the line in. It's on the XBT chart. Let me show you. Back to there, out of there, back to here, and there it is. So I got long back here on one of my trading strategies, and yeah, it's live, and I got stopped out here. Okay, so I didn't find a point at which I wanted to ram my stop up to. I didn't get it any higher up, and like I said, I was happy with that to see the market playing out. When Bitcoin gets into that parabolic land, there's not a great deal that that you can do sometimes. When it just races away like that, I trail stops, and I'll scale out, but I trail stops on higher lows. That was the only, it was actually here. See, look, higher high, higher low. Then we just went whoosh straight on. So it was a really good profit. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of $1,000 in there. I got it in my actual entry with a bit of slippage was 8,089. And my exit was up around this level at 10,000, 10.5, something around there. So it was a damn good trade. Very happy with that. And there was plenty of options in the middle, like something small like this. Also, one of my apprentices got this little bugger back here. At one stage, it was at 84-to-1 risk multiple. So risk $100, 8,400. He did very well out of that trade. I didn't Get it? I didn't want additional exposure at that moment in time. But now it's about understanding where we're at and what could happen. This is getting big candle land. I like smooth flowing charts like this. See? Smooth, 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 smooth. Big candles, then we get all wishy-washy, and we're still wishy-washy. Let's back out and go back to the daily. A couple of things that I am watching very closely is where price is now. The cradle zone is in and around that 10 period and 20 period moving average, and that's the area that I like pullbacks to occur. And I'll show it to you on the weekly as well, because you can use this zone on any market and on literally any time frame. Okay. So anything out there you can trade this on in the crypto space for sure. Small bullish candle right there, and we've sort of, you know, we're tinkering around 11,000. That's been the struggle town today so far, and you'll see that in the charts. Look, 11,000 reject back up. It looks a bit confused, and it's not a market that I'm very interested in as we speak to it right now. So where can we go and what can actually happen? Let me just back this puppy out and go to the weekly. Look how extended the weekly is. Now, I've seen some really bizarre comments about people saying, oh, the bears are back in control, or the bears are coming back, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, based upon what? How can you call that bearish? Yes, there is a bearish candle. It's not broken to low. It doesn't, you know, there's nothing. Look how strong that is. It's a massively, massively strong trend. Let's actually go ahead and have a look at this from the low to the high. We're at 360%, I think it is. 340, there you go. Massive move, and we've had no significant pullback. Just this. That's not significant. And when I talk about significant, it's actually a bit easier if I go to the Coinbase chart here, because there's more data. Let's have a look. When we're in an uptrend, look at this through 2017, right? Let's have a look. Where are we? From the high to the low, 30, call it 38%, right? That's the first one. From the, so that's obviously 16. From the high to the low, 36, right? Another one, high to low, something around 35. The next few, as we really started to power, are about 40. And the final one, before we really just went nuts, another 40% move. Sorry, pullback. Now, from those pullbacks, look at what happened. Back into that cradle zone every single time. Okay, this one was a bit more deep, so not quite as pretty. But as we got back into this uptrend, back into the cradle, bang, back into the cradle, bang, back in, back in, back in, bang. That's what I want to be seeing in a healthy, strong market. Now, the issue that I've got where price is right now is, sure, don't get me wrong, I love to see Bitcoin move hard. I love to see it go up, just like you, the next man, the next one. We all like to see it as we are involved in this market. But what we've got to be quite cognizant of is understanding that this does pull back. Look at how straight that is. That push up here is nearly as full on as this one back here. Don't get that mixed up. That's the truth. Very strong move, very, very strong move. So what if we saw a 40% pullback? Where does it bring us to? Be open. We've got to be open. We've got to read what's in front of us, not what we may want to see. So 40% gets us back into 80, call it 8,300. All right, $8,300. Now, what else coincides with 8,300? Let me just chuck that in at 83. Put it in there, right? Well, that also will get us into that cradle zone. Now, if that happens over a few weeks, then it might, if it's a gradual thing, then these moving averages will move up. So we might not see it bleed as badly because, you know, moving averages follow price. That's why I specifically look at price ahead of everything else, because indicators are always a measure of price first. Price comes first, indicators come second, okay? I never buy or sell off of indicators, all right? What do I think of VET and the possible join with Walmart? I thought that was confirmed. Don't think too much of it. But look, here we go. Back into here, gets us back into that cradle zone. Now, as traders, we should be looking for a confluence of events. If we have a nice pullback of the same as what we see, history repeating itself, back into this 8,500, back into the cradle zone, back on that 40%, we're starting to look likely on the weekly that we've taken a breath. Like I said, if it does take, if this weekly closes down here a little bit further, the moving averages will come up and we'll have to reassess that number. One number that I think is worthwhile considering as a pullback point is around this 87 or 88. Now, it's not an exact perfect level, but that was the old 2019 highs roughly through here, and there was a little bit of resistance around that region. Now, if we were to come back and retest that, if it takes a little bit of time for the market to come off, then that would be a pretty nice place for us to have a little candle there, or a test at least, on the weekly. So don't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback. I also wouldn't be surprised to see it carry on. Look at that move. We haven't. These are big candles, by the way. Look, let's look at this monthly. 62%. Last month, 25%. What did we see back here? Well, December, 39, 48. These are some of the biggest candles that we have seen in this market, full stop. Now, that's not dollar moves. The dollars are obviously very different. Back here, a 66% move was 918. This time, it's 3,283. So we are back into some very, very, very strong buying momentum right now. What we'd all love to see is, of course, break the new highs and whoosh, off we go. But it doesn't happen in a straight line, and we don't want it to happen in a straight line. The slower it occurs, the more opportunities we get, and that's really what I'm after. So that's me on Bitcoin, waiting to see how that candle closes tomorrow. Across the top 10, got to be honest, there's some pretty ugly charts out there. The sentiment is a bit mishmashy. Bitcoin dominance is still pretty high. Look at Ethereum, looking very confused, struggling at 300, retesting 279, but really fast, and there's nothing there for me. If you come back down and look at that in the 4-hour, look at the midterm time frames, consolidating. It's a really ugly looking chart. EOS, now interestingly with EOS, it's actually got this lower high on the daily and now lower low. Bigger picture, have a look. Lower high weekly, lower low. But here's the thing that I found most interesting. Look at how well, I got a great trade back here off for $6. I know it didn't test, I mean, it was entering above $6, only just 610, but nice bounce. Retested it again once, twice, bang. And again here, and then broke it, we're below it. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out over the coming weeks, days and weeks, but EOS not quite looking as nice as what it was throughout this period of time. So another one that I'm happy to be leaving. Stellar Lumens has got to be given the award of the most ugly looking chart this year. Look at that. What more can I say? Well, there's nothing to say. XRP is also getting a bit choppy and ugly now too. Now I find this interesting with XRP. Look, we tend to find that it gets messy, then it moves. It gets messy, then it moves. This is a terrible trading chart right here. The interesting thing is that in 2018, it was my best for profits. I did very, very well on it. Why? Well, look, it trended. Good trend. Good trend. Now, well, there's a little bit there, but I mean, now it's been pretty darn messy. I haven't had, God, have I had any trades this year on XRP? I know that there was one somewhere that I didn't take. I don't recall if I've actually had one. Either way, it's a hideous looking chart right now, and I'm happy to leave it. Again, just building in that market sentiment, that understanding of what is going on across that top 10, because that's where most of the market cap is, right? Litecoin came back and retested 109. Why 109? Well, look at this. Support, support, support. Broke above, pulled back in. Look at this on the weekly now. Of course, it's we're very early on, but look at that test. Really nice trend. Higher low, higher high, retesting back in that cradle zone. Quick question. Is there a reason to not take a cradle short BTC on the hourly? Mainly because of the small bullish candle shaping up on the daily. Yes, let me come back. Let's go back. Bitcoin, 1 hour. Look, the God honest truth is, it's just not, like, for me, this chart is not really good. It's a bit all over the shop. I'm just not really that interested in it. And that's a big candle. I wouldn't trade that cradle. It's a little bit too big for me. It's not got what I'm after there for a cradle. It's just, it needs to get some more cyclicity. Go from the 1 hour to the 2 hour. It's not the greatest looking chart, let's be honest. I'm really happy to just patiently wait it out. Where else am I going now? Where did I go? Litecoin. Back to Bitcoin Cash now. Another one that's looking pretty absolutely ugly too. Sideways through here, broke above. It's just a crappy looking chart. You know, I don't want to be trading those sorts of charts. Binance is the same, pretty average right there. The weekly looks like it could pull back as well. Look at that for a run. I mean, let's do the little number on that puppy from the low to the high. I mean, we're talking 845% over the space of, well, pretty much 7 months. Again, one that I'm not that keen on. I don't have that beautiful cyclicity. What do I mean by cyclicity? Look, beautiful pullback, beautiful pullback, beautiful pullback. There was breaks, there was pullbacks. This has been my most profitable. Oh, maybe Bitcoin's overtaken it now, but this has been a very profitable chart for me this year against Bitcoin, not Tether, against Bitcoin. Very similar chart. So I'm happy to leave it. Again, it's pretty messy. Again, Tron, look at this. Another one that's got a fair bit of market cap. Look how messy that is. It's been messy for quite a long time. The market looks a bit confused. And finally, Cardano. Have a look at Cardano here. We continue to go up into this resistance. Try 10 cents. Back we go back down. 10 cents, back we go back down. 10 cents, back we go back down. this market right now looks like it could really use a pullback or a break. It wouldn't be a problem for me at all to see the alt start to pump, see them break out of those ranges and start to move quite nicely. It also wouldn't be an issue if we saw a further pullback on that drop for Bitcoin. It's just about being aware of your circumstances, what's going on around you. You've got to be environmentally aware. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say in trading, but what is the environment? We're going through and looking across the top 10 gives me a bit of an environment, an understanding for my environment as a crypto trader to understand what is actually going on. A couple of questions. Zcash USD. Let's have a look at that. For me, formed around 15. You mean, am I right on this one? I'm a bit confused on that. Z. I don't like that chart. Too messy, all over the shop. Someone else asked about Link. Well, believe it or not, here we go. Link is in my watch list. It's been a cracking run. I mean, that's a big move. This year has been absolutely crazy. Nearly 1,000% up. It's a 10x. Kicking butt. But I'm actually liking it because it's a really good trend. Now, am I going to trade that 4-hour cradle? No. I'm actually waiting for something a bit more stable, a bit deeper of a pullback would really be on the cards. And I've got it against all tethered. I've got it against True USD. And I've also got it here against Bitcoin, for which I am stalking opportunities across all of those. Everyone's saying, hopefully, or I think a lot of people are hoping that alts will pump. People are ordering Lambos. That's a wonderful idea. I just want boats. But yeah, I just want to bring you up to date with what's actually going on, guys. It's important to know what could occur so that you're not caught out. You're not worried. You're not in a position where you don't have a plan. It's really important to understand what it is that you're after. Would be curious on your, okay, WTC, that's the last one, so this one doesn't drag out. Oh. Didn't even know I could trade that against. Oh no, yuck! That's way too thin. Look at that. See that? That's when you get slippage. That's when you get gapped out. That's a horrible chart. I'd never touch that. WTC, BTC. Ooh, yuck. I mean, what do you want to know? It's broken that. Look, there's that level I've had drawn in for a long time. Unfortunately, I can't short this thing. Yeah, okay, Jake, no dramas. I thought you might have. This pullback, I mean, it's so extended. Look at this on the weekly. I mean, it has been absolutely dominated. Look at this fall that we're going to see here. It's gone 59% down. For me, there's nothing there. It's just down. There's no. If you're clutching at straws, break above here, you'll have a higher low and a higher high. But you know that's what alts do, man. Like when Bitcoin gets a move on, alts tend to get pounded. It's a very similar looking chart process than what we saw in 2017. And I've been talking about the fact that we'll probably see this cycle continue when Bitcoin gets going. We also talked about Bitcoin saying hopefully it does get going because Bitcoin is the headline grabber, which brings more people into our market. It's not going to be Ethereum. It's not going to be EOS. It's not going to be Walton. It's not going to be Dash. It's going to be the big dog Bitcoin. So Bitcoin growing in value is good for us. Always make sure you manage your portfolio. And if you are trading, make sure you manage your risk and make sure you know exactly what it is you are looking out for. Guys, trade well, trade safe. Have a great day. And I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers. Bye.